Say hi, guys. I'm 4 months old. I'm 4 months old. She's like, okay, cool. This is gonna be Callie's 4-month update, and she's 4 months exactly today. And there's so much to update you guys on because the last month has just been like a developmental explosion. And from what I've read, from like 3 to 4 to 5 months, they learn so much and so fast. Look at me, I'm a big girl. And we have so much to talk about. So let's just get started first with her stats, and then we're gonna talk about new things she's doing developmentally and sleep and eating and all that fun stuff. So she is 4 months exactly, like I said, and we had her 4-month appointment today. She's 16 pounds, 11 ounces, actually 11.5 technically, which is in the 90th percentile. She is 26 inches long, which is in the 95th percentile, and her head was like 16 inches, which was 90th percentile. So basically she has stayed in the 90th to 95th percentile since birth, and which is awesome because she is still exclusively breastfed. And so it really feels good to me as her mom to know, like, I grew her in my belly and I've continued to grow her through breastfeeding her, and nothing against formula feeding or moms who do both or one or the other, but it is a big accomplishment that we are 4 months exclusively breastfed, and it's going so well. If you've been watching my videos, you know that we had a rough start with breastfeeding, and things have gotten a lot better. She eats about every 2.5 to 3 hours. Obviously I don't know how much she's eating when she's breastfeeding, but when she bottle feeds when I go back to work, or when I'm working, whatever, I said that kind of weird, she has about 3.5 to 4.5 ounces every 3 hours when she's not with me. So she is eating a good amount, growing a lot, obviously. Developmentally, she's doing so many new things. She's grabbing her toes. She has rolled from her back to her belly one time, but she has not rolled from her belly to back. She does not really like tummy time. We do a lot of tummy time, and I try to distract her and do different things, but after a couple minutes she's like, doesn't want anything to do with it. She's grabbing for toys. She's started to babble. She's basically, the only thing that she's said so far, like babbling wise, is she'll say so that's really cute. She's also learned how to scream and squeal. Yeah, and you practice that. One day when she learned how to like scream, she screamed all day long. Not like in an upset way, like in a fun, exciting way. And the next day her voice was raspy, so it was funny. She has also like reached for our faces when we bring like our head to her, and when she's on her belly, she started to kind of reach out if there's something in front of her. So she's learning so much. The next thing I want to talk about is sleep, because I have done so much research on sleep. I have, if you know, like watched our last video, I have been doing the taking care of babies method, and around 4 months a lot of babies have a sleep regression, and she definitely hit that sleep regression. And all of a sudden she's waking up every hour. Her naps were like 5 to 15 minutes. The second I lay her down, she'd wake up screaming, and I was exhausted. And just when I'm exhausted, my emotions run high, my anxiety runs high. I just feel like I couldn't be as good of a mom and a wife and friend and everything when she's not sleeping well, which means I'm not sleeping well. And so I decided to like hardcore do the taking care of babies 3 to 4 month stuff. And basically what I did, and I know this is not going to work for everyone, which is fine, but basically bedtimes were rough. I would get her to sleep. She'd sleep about 45 minutes, and then she'd wake up, and then she'd be up every 5 to 10 minutes for like another 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes it took us to get her back down for sleep, and then she'd wake up 2 hours later, and it was just exhausting at night and giving me a lot of like, every night when, you know, she'd be going to bed, it would cause me a lot of anxiety just knowing like this is gonna take 3 hours until I'm actually able to go to sleep. I'm so exhausted, and it was like a spiraling backwards. And so I like hardcore did the taking care of baby stuff. And basically, to sum up what I did, and again, this may not work for some, is when I would put her down at night, and when she'd wake up 45 minutes later, I'd give her 5 minutes of crying. After 5 minutes, I'd go in, I'd put my hand on her belly for 2 minutes. If she was still crying, then I'd start tapping her belly for 2 minutes. If she was still crying, then I'd pick up and hold her but not rock her for another minute. And if she was still crying, then I would rock her back to sleep, because she constantly was needing rocked to sleep. She could not fall back to sleep without the rocking. The first night she did that about 4 times. And then the next night she didn't need it at all. And then the next night I think she needed like tapped on the belly one time when she woke up. And then the next night she fell asleep with just like me having my hand on her. So it got a lot better, and I'm planning on utilizing that sort of technique for now until something changes and maybe we need to figure something else out. But her sleep is just kind of all over the place. Sometimes she'll sleep 8 hours, sometimes she'll sleep 4, and then up feeding every 3. So it kind of depends, but on average she sleeps about 6 to 7 hours for her first stretch, and then about another 3 to 4 more, which is good for right now. She'll eat about 1 time a night, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. It just kind of depends. And you know, every mom is different, every baby's different, every family's different for what works for sleep. But she is in her crib now, and honestly it's been life-changing. I know it sounds dramatic, but it was getting to the point where she was waking so easily when she was sleeping near us. And if she would wake up to like maybe like my husband sneezed or something, and we would like be upset with each other, like, oh, you woke her up, you get up. And it was really like taking a toll on our marriage. Not like in a way we're like, ah, let's get a divorce, not like that, but just like emotionally between us, it was like she was just not sleeping well, and it was so stressful. And now that she's in her crib, we have that time at night together where we can be on our phones or talk or watch TV, and it's honestly been really helpful. My whole mindset with this whole sleep thing is I cannot be as good of a mom and a wife and a friend and coworker and whatever when I am so sleep deprived. So if that meant going through a rough night or 2 or 3 and her crying a little bit more, so that way eventually she would get better sleep and I would get better sleep, we just had to do something, and that's what we did. And it so far has seemed to work. Last night was the first night where I put her down and she did not wake up 45 minutes later. She went down to sleep and she slept, and which was awesome. So anyways, I could talk so much about sleep because I've done so much research on it, and basically what I've determined is every baby's different, every mom's different, but a lot of babies need help learning how to sleep and how to fall asleep independently. So that is our ultimate goal. We're not quite there yet, but hopefully we'll get there over the next couple weeks as we practice things. It was funny, I actually had a pediatrician appointment today. I talked to the pediatrician about kind of what I had been doing, and I said, I just want to make sure I'm not like jacking her up by letting her cry a little bit before going in and intervening. And he said, you mean jacking you up a little bit? And so basically he was saying like, it's okay. You know, babies are going to learn, you know, have to learn how to sleep and how to cry. Some families, it works for them to rock their babies to sleep every single night. He's like, but then just know that they're gonna need that rocking every night to go to sleep. And some families, that's totally okay for them. And some families, it doesn't work for them for that. So for us, I would love for her to be able to fall asleep independently in her crib, sleep through the night, all that jazz, eventually at some point. But I do miss her being so close to me. It was hard the first night. I like didn't sleep well at all. I think I maybe slept an hour total because I just was so worried about being in her crib by herself. Even though she has been napping in her crib, it was just like emotionally hard for me because I felt like this chapter has kind of closed and we are on to our next chapter. But now that she's in her crib, it's been just a huge weight off my shoulders, and I feel like it's helped our marriage. It's helped me be a better mom. It's just been life-changing. Anyways, I could talk all day about sleep, like I said, but she's doing a lot better. Huh. She got her shots today. You can see her little legs, and so far she seems to be doing okay. I mean, it's only been like 3 or 4 hours, but we'll see how she does. Last time she got shots, I didn't even notice the difference really, but now she has those antibodies to react to, so we'll see how she does. She loves sitting up, she loves looking around, she loves being, you know, interactive, and it's nice because we're to a stage where we can like set her down in her like play gym or on the floor, like on her mat, and she'll kind of entertain herself, and we can cook dinner, we can watch a TV show, whatever. and she's kind of more, not self-sufficient, that, you know, obviously she like totally is reliant on me, but she is doing a lot better as far as like she can entertain herself for a little bit and not needing you constantly as much. So I think that's pretty much it. I know I talked a lot about sleep. I should just do a whole nother video on it, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. Overall, she's just doing really, really well. She's healthy, she's happy, she's smiley, she's learning and growing so much. Oh, let's talk about naps really quick, in case you guys had questions on naps. She takes about 3 to 4 naps a day. It kind of depends. Sometimes she'll only nap about 45 minutes. And so if she only naps about 45 minutes, she'll have about 4 naps a day. But if she takes a long nap, like an hour and a half or 2, then she'll usually have about 3 naps a day, with her last nap just being short, like maybe 30 minutes to get us to bedtime. But I highly recommend the Taking Care of Babies courses. They have a newborn one, they have a 3 to 4 month one, and then they have a 5+ month one to help to get your baby to sleep independently in the crib, which if that doesn't work for you, that's totally fine, but that is like my ultimate goal and what works for us. So that's it, cheeks. See, I guess that's all. Sorry this video was so random and rambly. Hello. So I guess we'll see you guys in our 5-month update. Say see ya. Bye. Oh, and one last thing. She laughs now, which is so cute, but she doesn't do it that much, so I don't know if I'd be able to get it on camera. But if you watch our vlog channel, you'll definitely see her laughing in some clips. Oh, okay, bye for reals. Bye. I'm gonna kiki and eat your cheeks.